Yo, what's up guys, this is Optic Retals, and today I am back in a very weird setup. I know. Optic was very nice to let me use one of their apartments before I move into mine because, you know, dates never mix that well. And I move into my new apartment on Sunday, so a few more days. But we have a tier list for you. We haven't had a tier list in a long time. I've been mostly gameplay because obviously there hasn't been any tournaments other than Worlds and, you know, Winter Major in Saudi, which were months ago. The season's coming up. The qualifier is, when you're watching this tomorrow, on Friday, the top 16 qualifier. Your favorite teams will be in it, except Shopify, rest in peace. But I'm here to rank my top 16. So if you disagree with it, let me know why. It's gonna be interesting at the top because there's a lot of good teams, and there's a lot of teams that are really close that you won't agree with what I say, and I won't agree with what you say, but there's 5 major spots for 9 teams that I think could make it. So it gets interesting. But if you enjoy the tier list, let me know. If you want to see gameplay only, let me know. I'm doing this for you guys. So let me know what you guys want to see. Enjoy the video. All right, we are back with tier list. I already introed you. Not going to take your time. We're jumping straight into this thing. I have 5 tiers of teams. If you're in this, you're top 16. You're not bad. If you're in D tier, it means you're top 16. So don't get offended. I think you're right at Rocket League, especially if you're on this list. So don't be weird about it. But that being said, we have 3 teams in our D tier. And so, like I said in the intro, I think there's 9 teams that can contend for majors. I will show you those 9 teams. But before we get there, we're going to start with 14 to 16. And that starts with number 16, Stromboli. Lion Blaze, Mr. Ghost. Rumors of him having mentality issues, but in my opinion, a very, very, very talented player. I think he could break into the top 10, top 15 NA eventually. Just needs to grind, because when he does grind, he's really good. Alvarez and Kinsey, both really good players, both mechanical, can do whatever they want on the ball. This team could click and be really good, or they could be really bad. Just one of those teams. I haven't seen much from them. Number 15, I'm just going to put this logo in because I don't think their org's announced yet, but we have Drees, Andy, and Delta. There was drama about Zanil joining them and then leaving for Turbo and JPal. Not going to get into it. Zanil's a cool dude. I think that knocks him down a bit because I think Zanil's really good. I think he's the best player on that supposed new team. But I still think they're going to be top 16. Drees is talented, obviously. Andy's talented, obviously. Delta's talented, obviously. Drees is really good on the ball. Delta's really good in net. And Andy's just a good bridge player. So it can't be that bad. Too much talent on that team for them to be that bad. And then right above them, actually, I don't think I have a logo for them. So what logo are we going to fill in? We're going to use the Frequency logo. Flitz, I'm sorry, not in my top 16. But this is Meow Meow. So Turbo, JPal, Zanil. This is the team I have at 14 in the top of the D tier. JPal is someone who I thought should have came up a long time ago. Smart player, good base mechanics, nothing special, but a good player that a lot of teams could use. Zanil, super talented, up and comer for sure, super mechanical. I mean, he's gross. And then you have King Turbo, the 4-time. It doesn't get more chiseled than that. Does not get more experience than that. With someone like that, it's kind of hard to, lose, even if he's not as mechanical as these other guys. He has so much experience that he's just gonna come perform every time. So that rounds off my D tier. Up to the C tier. This team I have at number 13. Where's their logo? I'll find it. Here it is. Team Accelerate. Toasty, the old Oxygen roster, Toasty, Gimmick, and now Ajax replacing LJ. It seemed like they had Andy for a bit instead of Ajax, and then Andy went to this new team. Now he picked up Ajax. I think Andy's better than Ajax. I don't think Ajax is bad at all. I think they're similar players. I think Andy's a little bit more capable on the ball, but Ajax will slot in nicely with those two, I think. So that is why I have them here. And Toasty's been improving a lot. Shout out Toasty. At my number 16, 15, 14. My 12, I have none other than the team that stuck when everyone thought they weren't, Team Rogue. I don't know why this team can't get it going. I think Aqua's really talented. I think Gyro's really good. I think Torko's pretty good. I don't know why they aren't better. I think all three of them are good players. I don't have much to say about this team, except I'm surprised they stuck, and I'd be surprised if they finished top 10. Next, we have the drama-ridden Ghost roster, replacing Lion Blaze with T-Corel. I hope all this is announced, but roster lock's already over, so I'm pretty sure it's all public anyways. T-Corel is someone who everyone has had their eyes on forever. He's been around that like semi-pro level, and I think this could be his big break because him and Shock have always been good together. Now you have Hoxer, who's also a very good player. They could break into the top 10. I don't see them making a major, but I think they're going to be a consistent, like around that 10 spot because they're just consistent players for the most part. And then rounding off so that was 11, right? 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. And at my 10, who people might say this is too high. I scrimmed against them. I played against them. I talked to them a lot. I have Shopify Rebellion. If you don't know them, it is Parth, 2-piece of Memory. Memory's been around forever. Parth was a rookie last year, I think, or maybe the year before. And then 2-piece is a brand new rookie. Or no, he was with randoms, but at the top, he's a rookie. And this team's talented. Parth and 2-piece will be a mainstay duo. You'll hear their names forever. They're coming up together, and I doubt they'll split anytime soon. So keep your eyes out for those two mechanical young guns. All right. We've broken into the top 10. So, like I said, I think there are 9 teams. And I was kind of rapid firing those. I think there are 9 teams that can make the major. I don't know where. I don't know who it'll be. I don't think anyone's guaranteed except G2. But I think any of these teams can make the major. So the ordering them gets a little tricky because I think all these teams are good. However, I'm fairly confident in these two being just outside of the major. First, we will start with the brand new Gen G roster. Nolly, Appjack, and Chronic. I think Nolly is a very, very, very talented player, and Jack I've always spoke very highly of. Chronic can be really good. I'm interested to see how he's in tournament because obviously really good in rank 2s and 6-mans and stuff, but how is he going to do when the lights are on? We don't know. I think inconsistency will plague this roster because I don't think it's just Chronic. I think moving from Europe will plague this roster because of being homesick and not used to the teams you're playing against, not used to. It does affect you a lot. So I wish the best of these guys. I like them a lot, but I do not think they have an amazing chance of making majors. Maybe they will. Maybe I'll bite my tongue because they're very talented players. If they can click super fast because they just formed, then they'll have a decent shot. At my number 8, and they finished 7th last season, 7th in the spring split, didn't make a change, finished top 8 at Worlds. I have NRG. This is one of the, out of like the top 9, out of maybe 3 teams, this is one of the biggest wild cards there is. They could finish top 3. They could finish, honestly, outside of the top 10. They had a lot of rough losses in the spring split. They're all still super talented players. This was probably the hardest team to rank because they've been number 1 in NA for like 2 years and then fell off a cliff in the spring. So I have no idea. I don't know what they're cooking over in the NRG lab, but I hope it's not much because I do not want to play against a peaking NRG. Now I'm into the A tier. These rankings are going to be a little weird. You're not going to agree with them. Maybe some of you will. All of you definitely won't. I'm going to start with... Okay, and all these teams are right next to each other, right? Just getting that out of the way. I'm going to start with V1 at my 7. I think a move could have helped this team. I think... And everyone, obviously, you need to get fortunate to make majors unless you're just peaking like BDS or G2 or something. This team got really fortunate with, I think, beating us in Game 5 overtime in the lowers. I think it was in spring or winter. But regardless, they always play well at LAN. But I'm worried about this team getting to LAN. It was just like our Space Station roster. We finished like 4th or 5th in NA every time we made LAN. But we always finished top 6. This team on LAN is better than the sum, or I don't know the saying, more than the sum of its parts or something like that. I think this team's a LAN team. I worry about them online, their consistency, because when I play this team, it feels like they're playing not to lose. I don't feel like they're playing to win. I feel like online you have to play to win. That's something Space Station didn't do. That's something they didn't do last season. And we both they only won one regional. We didn't win any. So I think that playstyle might get a little exposed this season. We're going to have to see. Again, Beast Mode is one of the best players in the world. I've spoke very highly of Com, and Torment's finally getting the recognition he deserves. Very talented team. At my 6, I have the South Americans and the Spanish Complexity. This team is, again, like Energy, a huge variable because I think Razebul's a top 10 North American player. I think he is probably the most underrated player in Rocket League right now. I think he's the star on this team. I think CRR is going to accompany him very well. Both very mechanical players, and then AJG as the backbone. This team plays fast, like most South American teams, but online, I think it'll work really well. On LAN, I don't think it will. So this team could finish top 3 NA. They could also finish 10th. Again, everyone is so close this season. This is the most impossible season to predict. If you thought my predictions last season were bad, these are going to be horrible. But from what I've scrimmed, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, these are my predictions. Okay. At my 6, I'm going to have... That's 6? No, this is 5. At my 5, I'm going to have Space Station Gaming. I think this roster is going to take time. Eventually, they might be better than they were with me. LJ individually is a better player than I am. I think they lack not foundation. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say they lack a playstyle, but they lack form, I guess. I feel like they're just playing every time I play against them. They lost to X Oxygen in the crew tournament. Didn't look great. But there's just too much talent on this team for them to be that bad. I mean, Daniel's still one of the best players in the world. Arsenal's still one of the best LAN players in the world. And LJ is really good. So I don't think they'll fall that much. But it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world to see this team miss a major. I'm into my top 4 now. I want to change my list already. I'm just looking at it. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. And our SSG is actually at my 4. And this could surprise a little bit. I'm going to put Fury at my 5. Yes, I know last season they finished, top 6 in London, top 4 at Worlds, top 3, or no, top 3 in London? Hold on. They had a lot of good LAN placing. What we got? Top 3 where? Where's top 3? Top 3, okay, yeah, top 6 LA, top 6 London, 1 Saudi, and top 4 Worlds. Probably going to get a lot of crap for this because they were one of the most consistent LAN teams. And again, when Complexity came over, they got a lot better. Furia, the same thing will probably happen, and this team could finish 2nd in NA. And I'll look stupid. But I think being away from home does hurt people. I think not being comfortable in your own environment is super tough, especially with how tight the competition is. I mean, one bad regional and you could go from 3rd to 9th. It's tough. So, again, Yan is one of the best players in the world. I think Card has improved a ton, and Kyle's the glue. So, I think this team could finish at the top. But, I'm going to have him at 5 for now. And at number 3, much to everyone's surprise, because I've always been super confident myself, I will have us. I think we've looked really good recently. A bad day of scrim or two every now and then, but against every team in this tier or below us, we've looked good. I mean, we've had bad scrims, obviously, but I'm confident, not in beating them every time, but I think if we play every team in this tier and below us 10 times, we win at least 5. So I'm going to base it off that. Magic Bear has been improving insanely because he just hasn't had the high-level scrims yet. AJ is looking like a new man without being held back a little bit because of his team's playstyle. And I'm just here to demo. So, here to demo and scream. To no one's surprise, there will be 2 teams in S tier. At number 2, I'm going to put FaZe Clan. And number 1, I'm going to put G2. G2, not to give G2 fans copium, have looked the best I've seen them in a long time in scrims. Obviously just scrims. FaZe have looked really good with miss. They are less scary on offense, obviously. AJ is one of the most terrifying players in the world. But they look a lot more consistent on defense, which I think is what they were going for. And if they were, then they got it. This team will have a lower ceiling and a higher floor, I think. But I think some teams, especially G2, will be able to shut them down a little bit because, not to say Mist and Sip can't do it, but when AJ was on the team, he was a huge scoring threat. First killer, obviously, no matter what team he's on, he'll always be a huge scoring threat. Mist can shoot the ball really, really well, but he's not going to go over there and take over a game with scoring. That's just not what he does. I've teamed with him. I've played against him for years. He is one of the most solid players in the world, but it's not going to be through taking over a series and just scoring and scoring and scoring like AJ can. They will get scored on less, but they will also score less, I think. So that's why I'm going to have him at 2 and G2 at 1. This team looks incredible in scrims. I mean, we have lost quite a few scrims to both of these teams, so I just have a little bit more faith in G2 to move their scrim practice to tournament than I do in FaZe, because historically FaZe has had some bad scrims or great scrims and then gone to tournament and sat in that. So we'll see. But like I said, these 9 teams could be, other than G2 at 1 and FaZe in like the top 3 or 4, these 9 teams could be in any order and no one would bat an eye. I mean, most of you would probably have Fury at 3 and then V1 here and maybe SSG ahead of us and have us at like 6 or 7. You can do that. I won't be mad at it because these teams are all so close. So let me know what you think. Give me your top 10. I'm fairly confident Shopify. I think that's going to be my breakout team of the season, having them in my top 10. I think it falls off a ton after 9 or 10. I mean, I think the bubble has gotten a little weaker as LJ moves up, as Chronic goes, obviously with Bull, he's kind of playing, but Chronic moves up. You have just a lot of talent getting consolidated. But there were a lot of forced roster moves this season that didn't really make much sense to me. So we'll see. I think we'll have another probably big roster shuffle after fall split. So these are just my fall predictions. Obviously, I can't predict roster moves. But yeah, that's what I got. I'm pretty proud of this list. Again, I'm going to be so wrong. But if you enjoy the predictions videos, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.